Alright, so I was going to do a faction overview for Sins of the Prophets. I sort of messed up though. Trying to rush through it, just quickly built it all up so that I could show you all the different units for him. And in doing so, I sort of just let the purple guys, the Covenant here, spread everywhere. So what I'm going to do, since I'm starting out crippled, because I didn't research like any supplies for getting credits, titanium or deuterium. So I'm behind. I only have 3 planets here. And my allies are sort of not faring too well either. So what I'm going to try and do is actually do not a full let's play maybe of this, but just go on, see how long I can last on this match. I'm just going to do a quick little overview though for the UNSC so you can see what the units look like and talk about them a little bit. So to start out, we will look here. This top ship up here. This is the Ani sloop. This is a scout ship. This is what you're going to be building when you at the very beginning of the game to go find the planets to colonize, to expand to. You don't use them. You could use them in combat. You shouldn't. They only do 3 damage. That's pulse lasers. They're not worth it, especially not in this mod. This mod is not about building ships that take hits. This is building ships to die. It's Halo. If you don't know anything about Halo, you should know that the UNSC struggled in space. The UNSC are all about numbers. Now this is the Sharon class light frigate. This ship is used for mostly ground bombardment. You don't really bombard so much as you launch little pelicans out. It's to simulate the fact that you're landing ground troops. They went away from the base game where you're just nuking the planet, which you didn't colonize right away, so it doesn't make sense. So this will drop off troops to the planet's surface to take it. It does decent in packs, and it has some AA guns, but it's not your dedicated AA craft. For anti-fighters, you want to use this, the Stalwart class. Now, the Sharon you might recognize from Halo 3. The Stalwart and Amber Clad here is from Halo 2. This is the ship that Miranda Keyes follows the Covenant ship through to Delta Halo. And the Sharon is the Pillar of Autumn. No, not Pillar of Autumn. What was it? Not... Crap. I can never remember the name of it. And it bugs me to no end to what the Halo 3 ship was called. It'll come to me. Alright, now here you have the Paris class. This is your baseline warship right here. This is the ship that you're going to use most in combat. You're going to build just giant packs of these. These are from Halo Reach. You might recognize it. So, the Savannah class. Not Savannah class. The Savannah, which is a Paris class. This is my favorite frigate right here. It looks cool. It looks like a giant hand cannon in space. And going up from there, we'll have the Halberd class destroyer. Among older circles, it's known as the Thanatos. But 343 came out months ago and said that no, this is called the Halberd class destroyer. This will be probably your second most numerous ship in the fleet. They have great alpha strike. Their missiles aren't as great as their max. They have 2 of them. You can see there at the front. 1, 2. So these things are great for taking out some larger ships pretty quick, and as long as you're in groups with them. And they can take okay beating. Moving up from there, you have the Halcyon class. Now, this is a ship everyone should recognize. And this is not the Pillar of Autumn. That has its own version in here. But this is the class that was right before the Marathon. And these ships are sturdy. They can take a lot of damage. And it's the reason why they're not built so much in the Halo canon is because they're so expensive to build. Because they have like a honeycomb interior structure, which let it take that damage, but made it prohibitively expensive. So yeah, so there's that one. Now we're going to move off to... let's look at the Cradle class repair ship. This is based off the ships that are described in the Fall of Reach. What was it? Whitcomb uses them, or is it Stanforth? One of the admirals uses this ship to block the incoming plasma torpedoes from the Covenant, so that the fleet can get a second round off without taking any damage. It's described in the book as being a like 3 kilometer by 3 kilometer square plate. Well, they designed it to where it's 3 kilometers long. It's not so much wide. But it was described as being able to fit up to 6 destroyers. So you can see there's 3 berths on each side for it, and then there's some tinier ones in the middle there for smaller craft. So they did sort of stick to the lore for the design of this one. Move on to the... I don't think I built a carrier. I will have to rectify that. Alright, so here we go. The Sahara's next to it. The big one here, this is a Phoenix-class assault ship. A Spirit of Fire is what you'll probably recognize it as. These are taken from the, it's basically a retrofitted colony ship. It's given some armament, maybe given some armor here and there to make it just a bit more survivable. But this was built to transport troops. That's what it's doing. It is taking soldiers from the front line, well, from behind the front line to the front line to fight. It's not actually meant to engage in ship-to-ship combat itself, preferably. But on the sides here, you can see the landing bases, more or less. Like in Halo Wars, these drop off and they form the basis for your base. That's a weird way to word it. You can see the guns along here that you have in one of the campaign missions. You actually have to go out there and repair them so it can broadside the Covenant destroyer that's sitting there. Since we're here, we'll go ahead and look at it. Let me unpause real quick so we can sort of move away. Alright, now we got it alone. This is a Sahara-class prowler. This is, let's see. It's from Halo... I'll say it was from Halo Legends. It's shown in one of the episodes where they go and they do a landing on a Covenant ship to rescue Halsey. And this is the ship that they get picked up from, a Sahara class. It's useful for its own little niche area. It's not meant to be a brawler. You're not going to take this into fleet battles with you, hopefully. It's meant to lay mines and then do like surprise attacks because it can cloak itself. So you'll try and like sneak this around there and hit somebody with a nuclear missile or mine the area. You can also do boarding parties. So stealth it, get close to like a Covenant cruiser, whatever, and launch a boarding party on it. Cloak it again, run away, and then they'll fight that, and maybe it can do some damage. Go ahead and look at the Autumn. Alright, this is the Pillar of Autumn. If you played not Halo Wars, the first Halo, the anniversary version where it had the updated graphics to it, this is what the Pillar of Autumn looks like in that remake. It's got the guns all along it, whatnot. This version has a special mag. Most mags can shoot once every few minutes, and it only shoots one like 600-ton shell. This shoots three rounds per shot because of the way the mag works. It recaptures all of the energy it uses. They're not as strong individually, but it's described as the first. Well, the second shot will knock out the shields, followed by the third. The third will be the one that actually hits and does the damage. Keyes used the ship to great effect on the Fall of Reach. I took out a lot of vessels with it. Look at those engine effects, by the way. They somebody figured out how to make it to where the big ones would work as well as the smaller ones. If I can get it right, so all 3 of them work. Not all 3 of them, but you know, all the little ones and the big ones. And it looks amazing in this game. It really does. And it's not the team colors anymore. It used to be team colors for the engines. Now it's just a generic light blue version. And it looks great. I love it. The ships in this mod look amazing. I did build it. All right. I was looking for the Athens class. That's why. So they went back. It's been the old mod fraternity. The Athens was a capital. The Eon was your cruiser carrier. Then they got rid of the Eon, gave it to the militia faction, and you had the Athens as your cruiser carrier. Now it's back. The Athens can now be seen with militia. The Eon is now your cruiser carrier. And I like it. I like the Aeon. I like the Athens too. It's sort of based on the same design as the Phoenix, but very different. So you can see like they're probably designed from like the same chassis, but then altered and modified to be different ways. The Aeon, this is a nice looking ship too. Nice and long, like the UNSC likes to build them, you know, squared, roundish a little bit. See the Mac gun there. It carries 4. Sorry, I talk with an accent. That's weird. All right, going to the next ship, we will look at not the super carrier. That's for last. Go to the Valiant. All right, so here's the Valiant class. This is what Admiral Cole used. He led his fleets in the Outer Rim campaigns at the very beginning of the war from one of these ships. The Everest was his flagship. This ship is designed to be, up until you get like the super carriers, this ship is sort of like a flagship. It gives boosts to the local ships. And it's decent in a fight by himself. You're not going to build this ship in huge numbers. It's not what this capital ship is for. The capital ship you'll have the most of is going to be, here it is, the Marathon. Everyone probably recognizes this from Halo 2, the beginning scene where you're going out and Master Chief says, "Gonna give the Covenant back their bomb." And he jumps out. This is the ship. And I can't do Steve Downes. Steve Downes has the greatest voice for Master Chief. I do not. But no, this is my favorite capital ship. I just love the look of this ship. It looks amazing to me, you know, that aft. This is the ship you'll build the most of. It has 2 Mac cannons on the top. I think this is the bridge. I believe that's the bridge down there. The fun fact for you real quick, because I've talked about in other videos about how the bridge should be tucked away way in the middle. The elites, they don't like humans that much. They disregard them. You know, they're like, whatever. You know, they're not worthy. As the war goes on, though, and humans start to prove themselves in battle, like, oh, you know, the humans aren't too bad. Well, the Covenant Shipmasters actually, because their bridges are tucked way within the inside of their ships. Some Covenant Shipmasters quote that they think it's ballsy of the humans to put their bridge exposed like that. They actually respect them for it. Like, oh, that's a, you know, it's a brave thing to do. So, fun fact for you. Some elites actually started to question why the Covenant would not let the humans join. And it's because the humans were marked down to be the reclaimers after the Forerunners wiped themselves out. The humans were meant to be the ones to take upon the mantle, more or less. And so when they first, the Covenant first come across humanity, the Oracle on the Forerunner Dreadnought, which is at the heart of High Charity, wakes up and says, basically says that, you know, these are my masters, which they were technically supposed to be now, and that he will bring them to the Ark. And the Covenant prophets, Regret, Truth, and what were the third one? You know, you never really know a lot about the third one. They're like, shit, you know, this is going to ruin our religion. Make, you know, everyone freak out if they think Forerunners are still around, which that's what everyone thought at the time, was humans were the Forerunners. So they declare that the humans should be wiped out because they are affronts to the gods or whatnot. But yeah, back to the ship at hand. So the Marathon. Lots of missiles, lots of guns. It's not as durable as a Halcyon, lore-wise. It's meant to be built more en masse than the Halcyon was. So there's that one. Now onto the Sniper. This ship is a great design. I love it. I'm not a fan of the voice that it has, but that's just me. Other people, I'm sure, like it. But this ship is meant to snipe. You want to operate this in pairs, and you can basically take out like any ship with its Cov Killer right here. Does 10,000 damage, and it hits other targets as well. I mean, this thing decimates ships. It really does. But it's not going to take on a fleet by itself. This is more specialized for taking out, you know, a high value target. sort of sitting at the back. You don't want to put this right in the middle of a fight. That's not where it belongs. It belongs in the periphery, shooting in and taking out the key targets. And it's a experimental design where it's basically just a mat gun all the way from the back to the front. It's got two of them, one top, one on bottom. Going on now to the super carrier. Now, this is a newer ship that came out with the most recent release. There used to be the Thermopylae class super carrier, which I didn't like at first, but sort of grew on me. They replaced it though in the latest release with this, the Punic class, or Punic. I'm not sure. I know what Punic or Punic is from. It's a reference to the war between Carthage and Rome, referred to as the Punic or Punic Wars. I'm not sure which way it is. Punic? I'm going to say Punic. It sounds better to say Punic than Punic. But yeah. So it's where that name is from. And this ship is huge. The only ship that is bigger than this for the UNSC is the Infinity, which I haven't gotten yet because the enemy is right over there. So this ship is basically going to be the flagship for your fleets until you get the Infinity. And the Infinity is going to be your main ship for your main fleet, while these will probably lead smaller fleets. Its abilities are just for nuclear missiles, fleet command. Ooh, a little tired. So that's why you want this in the middle of your ship, middle of your fleet. It's because it buffs it so much. It gives a frontal damage reduction, so your ships take less damage from the front. Lets them slip space earlier. Their abilities use less antimatter, and they cool down faster. And their damage output is buffed. So you'll want this thing with a fleet definitely if you're going to assault a world. Which is actually what we are going to do now. Got a fleet built up here. And we're going to attack this asteroid here. Try and take it back for the UNSC.
Marathon class cruiser up and running.
Oh, got another marathon.
Your order?
Sweet.
Bring me up to speed. Inventory check complete.
They have their own personal soundtrack in this, and
Let's
it's
not
good.
outstay our
I have it
goal.
off right now, so you can hear me talk, as well as hear like the
Bring me up
units
to
and stuff like that as they
speed.
talk,
Get us
sound
underway.
effects. But the soundtrack is really good. So it looks like our super carrier jumped first. That's awesome.
Slip space jump on my mark.
Allied naval forces have
See if we
engaged
can
the enemy.
actually see it come off. Yeah, so you can see the slip space effect behind it. It's pretty cool. And they're different for the UNSC and the Covenant,
Bring me up to speed.
which is very good for lore reasons because the UNSC is described in the books as basically ripping their way into slip space, like basically the brute force, the method they use. The Fushikawa slip space engines, just basically ripping a hole in slip space. While the missiles get shot off. That just looks beautiful, doesn't it? The missiles shooting off. Autocannons firing. Right here you're going to see the you can see him drop Pelicans off. Didn't need to do that. Try and look at some of them right here. So you can see it's getting escorted here by it's not really getting escorted. They're the fire's flying somewhere else. It's so difficult. Oh, almost. There we go. So there you go, a Pelican right there, taking ground forces to the asteroid to wipe out the ground forces. What was I talking about? I got distracted and I forgot what I was saying. Slip space. Right, so the Covenant, though, they basically gently open holes. That's why it's so much more accurate for the Covenant other than the humans, because they are basically
Standing by.
artists doing it. Those streaks that you just saw, by the way, those were right there. Those are the MAC guns firing. They fire very infrequently, but they do a tremendous amount of damage.
Who needs some lovin'?
Well, no, just kidding. So
I'm
we're gonna win that fight.
Saying Haley.
Come over here. Look, for the wormholes, they replaced the normal wormhole effect. It's basically a forerunner structure, sort of like a warp gate type thing that they went for here. So that's pretty cool. Come over here and see. Covenant engaging the UNSC over here.
Our allied
See the
capital
plasma
ship
torpedoes
has
getting
been
shot off.
neutralized.
Oh! Super destroyer just got killed. See it leveling up there. Missiles going. Now a bit of a misnomer with the Archer missiles, because that's what you're shooting in this, is Archer missiles. They in Halo Reach, it's described that one Archer missile would gut a human ship. Wart. Which is that's actually Sergeant Johnson saying "go go go" backwards. The audio. That's where they got wart from.
Peace may be our only chance for survival.
So that doesn't make a lot of sense.
Our allies' colony is under
So with the Archer
planetary
missiles,
bombardment.
because they're launching literally hundreds of these things at the
Get
Covenant.
ready for active duty.
But it's later sort of talked about that, well, at the very beginning
Get ready
of
for
the
active duty.
fighting,
A new colony has been
100.
founded.
humans, it's a dead asteroid.
Destroyer ready for duty.
Well, no, so humanity, whatnot, couldn't, well, they weren't exactly up to speed with the ships that they have in the Halo
ready for
Halo era, whatnot.
Bring me
of
up
the
to
games.
speed.
They were still busy fighting the
Running.
insurrection war or whatever, and they didn't really have a lot of space fighting knowledge before that, because there hadn't been really a major war. Been a few here and there, but they're mostly more localized and not like a huge conflict between worlds, I guess, or whatnot.
reporting in.
So Cole, I think it was Cole, said that it's the insurrection was a good thing because it let humanity learn the lessons of space fighting and basically sort of gear up and be ready for a war. Come on, can I fit in there? Nope.
Orbital structure complete. Orbital structure complete.
SMACs are amazing, by the way. Super magnetic accelerator cannons. They just absolutely decimate enemy vessels.
Insufficient deuterium.
Aw. But,
Planet-side infrastructure complete.
they take a while to set up. You build them, but then they actually have to build the ground facilities. That's how it's
ready for duty.
described in the books, is that they take so much power that they can't build it locally. So they build it on the planet's surface, and they basically like beam it up to the stations.
Reporting in.
So it's like 240
Slip
seconds
space
in
jump
game
complete.
before a Mac can fire itself. Once they can, they're decimating.
Reporting in.
Orbital structure
Combat
complete.
isn't as quick as it used to be in this game. Looking back in the old Trinity version, you would launch like 200 ships. So my whole fleet here, send them here, and it was just UNSC versus UNSC at that point. But you'd have like 200 vessels, and they would have 200 vessels, and it was like the Revolutionary War. You had redcoats and patriots.
Allied naval
The
forces
ships would
have
sort of come at
engaged
each
the
other in a
enemy.
line and fire, and you would just see ships left and
Our
right
allies'
just blowing
colony
up.
is under
Boom,
planetary
gone.
bombardment.
Just absolutely ridiculous. So you would have those 200 ships,
Ready
and
for
you'd
all
lead
this.
that battle with like 50.
Standing by.
Not even
Shouldn't be
50,
too
more
much
like
of a hassle.
20. I mean, it was just a bloodbath in the old games. Now it's still a bloodbath. I mean, you are losing ships. Oh, look at the flood, look at the flood, look at the flood. Here's one of the Forerunner Dreadnought classes, which is been parasited. not the politicians. No. Here's some flood spores. They're still getting worked on. They're not finalized. Let me tell you something. Flood, terrifying. In this game, they are just absolutely brutal. Do not turn them on unless you're doing like more of a co-op game, because they will overrun you unless you're working together. I mean, you have to literally be dedicated solely to fighting the flood, because they take your ships. So they just get stronger and stronger with each battle unless you fight them correctly, which is using fighters, bombers, and Sharons. Not Sharons. Scratch that. Stalwarts. Anti-fighters. So you can take out their the flood spores before they can get to your ships and take them over. You'll need a few heavy ships, but they'll take every ship. Doesn't matter what ship it is. They can't take the Infinity, but they can take all your other capital ships. So they are terrifying. Alright. My trade ships here
Orbital
are
structure
attempting to
complete.
trade with my ally over here. Very brave, very foolish. Nah. I was looking to see if this was a special star. It's not, but there's a black hole here. Chichetti. I don't know if this is a local.
Enemy Titan detected.
Oh, snap, crackle, pop. That's terrifying. Alright, I gotta research it, and that's probably never gonna get built. 40,000, 12,500, and then 7,500. Absolutely ridiculous amount of resources.
Working on my thing, Haley.
Are you? That's great. Good for you. Let us
Get
go
us underway.
for Indana. Create a
Uploading
fleet.
nav point.
All tight. Keep them close together so they can support each other with anti-air. Anti-fighters, not anti-air. There's no air in
Orbital
space.
structure complete.
You know what? Oh no. Let us build some more of these.
Allied naval forces have engaged the enemy.
Well done, Allied Naval Forces. Well done indeed.
Invalid structure placement.
Don't tell me that's invalid. It's space.
Our allies' colony is under planetary bombardment.
Oh no. Say where? Oh, here we go.
Orbital structure complete.
It's over here. Harvest. Harvest is under
Let's
attack.
fast jump on my mark.
It's a TCS class battle cruiser. Shooting all of its guns off. Energy projector, plasma torpedoes, pulse lasers, and plasma cannons. It's got a decent amount of guns. I haven't played as the Covenant too much. I'm not really familiar with them so much. Prefer playing as the humans, you know. I'm a bit of a human supremacist. All about humanity
Orbital structure complete.
as a whole. I'm not against allying with you know,
Our
aliens.
ally has constructed a Titan.
But if I had to choose between a human and an alien, I'd
Orbital
probably choose the
structure
human.
complete.
Though, if I'm friends with the alien, that's different too. Like Garrus? Oh yeah, I'd pick Garrus over Miranda.
What the bloody hell does Fleetcom want?
Now Garrus over Liara? It depends.
Orbital structure complete. Slip space jump complete.
Do they have any ships here? Doesn't look like it. Are they building ships? Yes. So they have, what, a battle cruiser here? But it's going to run for it because I have such a superiority. Fleet's turning to engage. Alright, so this video is getting a little long. So if you want us to keep seeing more of either this episode or a dedicated Let's Play for this mod, let me know. I'm going to start doing some more videos for this game as well as
Orbital
Empire at
structure
War.
complete.
I need to branch out with what I'm covering, you know, sort of appeal to a wider audience, whatnot.
Orbital structure complete.
And also because I play other games, not just Empire at War. I have a life, thank you. So yeah, everybody take care.